What's up, everybody? All right, so let's do this real fast. I forgot to start off the video. So and we're on. What's up, everybody? I goofed up at the beginning there, but whatever. That's what OmniBros is all about. We're not scripted. We're not. We don't plan shit out. Things just happen as they go, especially on the Sunday show. So, everybody, welcome to OmniBros Live here on the Sunday morning, a lazy Sunday morning. We're enjoying it together. We're going to talk comic books, do some Q&A, so everybody in the chat, start throwing some questions my way. It's just me at the moment. Lou will be showing up soon, and we'll get this party ready. But speaking of parties, the big party people are the sponsors of this wild show, and that is the one and only InStockTrades.com, everybody. So if you're buying your omnibus, your trade paperbacks, hardcover, all your collected editions, they're expensive. $100 here, $125 there, $150 sometimes there as well. Don't pay full retail for your omnis or your hardcovers or any of your collected editions, because you got the option and the chance of saving up to 50% off right here at InStockTrades.com, everybody. They got the best prices. They got the amazing, amazing packaging. They set the standards for shipping. You get the box. You got your books all snaggy and comfortable. And I think they even put a little blanket over it before they put it into the box. They might sing it a little bit of a lullaby before they ship it out. We got all kinds of foam. Great packaging. Free shipping on orders over $50 in the US, and that's amazing. You can't beat free shipping on $50. That's easy. That's like one omnibus. That's easy to hit that mark to get your free shipping. They also help us out by returning all their love and appreciation and our love to the community. We also do a $50 gift card once a month. We just did that last Monday. So I hope you didn't miss out on that chance. If you did miss out, we'll do it again here in June at the end of the month. It's always the last Monday of the month. We do the $50 gift card giveaway for InStockTrades.com. Hit them up, everybody. Check them out. Best place on the web to get your books, InStockTrades.com. So if you'd like to thank them for sponsoring us, God, probably for at least 3 years, probably 4. I'm not too sure, but they've been sponsoring us for an extremely long time. And we appreciate all of that love that they've been showing us. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Speaking of love, Sending out love to Jesse Say What, who's in the chat today. We got Hooniverse in the chat today. I guess Omar's got a cool interview going on. Sweet. L Denver. Sorry that your dog is getting upset by that intro video, but that's how it works. Roberts V or Roberts 5 coming up from London. Greetings, man. Good day to all. Good day to you. Joe Chips in the house. What up, everybody? And of course, the one and only NFL dude 56. So shout out to everybody who's chilling out with us right now. Like I said, I think Lou will be popping in a little bit. So we'll start kind of hanging out and we'll see what's going on with all of that. Actually, I'm going to message him real quick and be like, come on in, bro. Let's see if he's ready. Tell him jump in whenever, bro, so we can kind of get this started up and see what's going on. So what's all the big news going on in the community, everybody? Give me some ideas. What's going on? Shout out to somebody who thinks I'm beautiful. Oh, no, wait. He's from beautiful Greece. That's right. I'll take it either way. So let's see. Going on with the community, we got some new books coming out as always. What else has been going on? Loki's coming out on Wednesday. Who's excited for Loki? We'll see what's going on with Loki this week. I'm pumped. Big things coming out. They're saying expect the unexpected when it comes down to Loki. So give me some, put some Q&A in the chat, guys. We'll get that started up as well. Let me see. Let's talk about what I've been reading. So I've been reading a lot of Ghost Rider. Let me show you guys some stuff real fast. So Ghost Rider, I'm getting into a big old Ghost Rider kick. One of my favorite characters, especially the 90s version of Ghost Rider. One more thing. I don't know if you guys saw my post on Instagram, Gabe Loves 90s Comics. What up, Lou's in the house?
What's up, brother? How you doing? Sorry for being late.
It's all good, man. I was hanging out with the awesome people in the chat today, so we got that covered. I got this. A little bit of a spoiler for tomorrow's hauls. I got this Ghost Rider Bowen bust. Anybody remember Bowen bust? These things are I still love these things so much. I know these days, the statue game is kind of a little bit more crazy, especially when you get things like Sideshow, Prime 1, XM, you get some crazy statues. But these Bowen ones, I felt were always more comic book accurate. Like it's a lot more like these things really kind of popped off the comic book page. Mm-hmm. He got a little chain here. That's kind of cool. This is the Johnny Blaze because he's got the old school like Harley motorcycle on the base. His face is super creepy. Yeah, these things are cheap. Like you can get these for like $40 on eBay. These little Bowen busts. So you don't have to go crazy and get like $3,000 XM statues that you got to import from Singapore. And it's probably a front for drugs. I don't know, but you get what you like, and I like the ones that are really more comic book accurate. Those
is Johnny Blaze your Ghost Rider?
No. My Ghost Rider 100% is always Danny Ketch.
Oh wow, okay.
Danny Ketch. That's the one, because this is the 1990 version. So this is who Ghost Rider was when I was first reading comics. So that's who I always thought Ghost Rider was. And later you find out there was one from the 70s who was basically like an Evel Knievel kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. Since that was a big thing back then, was Evel Knievel and motorcycles and Harleys and all that kind of, Hell's Angel stuff. What have you been up to, man? What have you been up to?
Chilling, man. Chilling. It's been a good day. We're getting closer and closer to the move date, so it's been just working towards that. We finished up I'm done. I finished up the school year already, so we're done. And now I just got to look for work.
Are you moving down to, you're going down to Miami?
Yeah, I'm moving down to Miami.
Is that much of a change? Is that like, I know it's Florida, so it's all probably crazy and bath salts and everything. But what's the difference between Miami and Orlando?
Miami is definitely more of it's a party city. Orlando has its party spots, man, but it's more of a chill vibe. But Miami is just straight up. It's a party city, and the environment is a lot more crazier and a lot more flashy and a lot more wild. The area that I'm moving to isn't too bad though. So, but that's the big difference right now. It's only 4 hours down south. So that's happening in about 3 weeks. So just kind of getting ready for that, dude.
Nice, dude. Nice. Did you hear about this? Did you hear that
What's
Jupiter's
going on?
Legacy got canceled after one season?
I did. I mean, it didn't necessarily surprise me. I think you really got to stand out from the pack these days if you really want a superhero show to be successful. Like Invincible, outside of anime, is so different in terms of the violence and the gore and stuff like that that you typically see on your traditional North American animation that it really caught fire. And the whole thing with The Boys as well. The Boys is a little bit different than your traditional superhero show. I just think that Jupiter's Legacy from the very beginning was just not going to do that well. And I had tried watching, I think, 3 episodes of it because that's my rule.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give anything 3 episodes, and if it doesn't do it for me, then I just drop it. And I was falling asleep. I was like, Jesus, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was falling asleep. I had the same issue with Sweet Tooth this past weekend where I watched 3 episodes and I was like, this has none of the bite that the book has. This is such a watered down and neutered version of that book.
Oh, that's too bad because I haven't gotten around to either of those yet.
Mm-hmm.
But Sweet Tooth was one of that's my favorite Jeff Lemire book that he's ever done.
Yeah.
It was Sweet Tooth. It was such a change of pace for comics. But I'm surprised to hear they took the bite out of it because people were saying they're liking it. But apparently it must be people who don't know the comic book yet.
That kind of seems to be a lot of the case for me. Where I mean, I know a lot of people that are enjoying it. I've been reading, like, it's got almost 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so clearly people are loving it. But I think this is just one of those cases where I love the source material so much, and I know the potential of what the source material has, that it's deviated so far away from the tone of the source material that it could be called almost anything else, and it isn't really even Sweet Tooth to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because Sweet Tooth, well, you've read Sweet Tooth, so you know about it. Sweet Tooth is it's a very dark book. It's very much the end of days. Man is on its last whim, and there's not much left out there. And they touch on it a little bit, but this is such the best way I could describe it is it's almost a Steven Spielberg version of Sweet Tooth, where it's so lighthearted in tone. It's an E.T. version of Sweet Tooth.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because the book was really sad and dark. Like, poor Gus, like he gets caught up in it, and he does some things that you didn't think a poor little kid would have to end up doing. But that's too bad, dude. Because like you said, it's all about just poor Jasper, who just it's post-apocalyptic. Everybody's died. He lost his entire family, and he's just kind of just roaming the world on his own, waiting to die. And he runs into Gus.
It was Jeopard.
Jeopard. Okay, Jasper Jeopard. Whatever. It was some hillbilly name.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanders into Gus, and it's like I said, it all comes down to just the tone for me is just not there. It's very much a family-oriented series. It's CW Sweet Tooth is the best way that I could describe it.
Oh,
yeah, it's that. And they did.
Is everybody handsome? And like this Gus got like a 6-pack and stuff.
No, he's too young for the 6-pack.
Oh.
But yes, everybody is still handsome. Everybody's still handsome and has like makeup and for whatever reason. That always bothers me about post-apocalyptic stories and stuff like that. It's like, oh, everybody looks like a fucking model. I'm like, you look like your hair is permed. Why is it permed in the apocalypse? It makes no sense. So they did this for whatever reason. Netflix has this really bad habit of just neutering a lot of series and cutting the source material, the tone of it way down. They did the same thing for Lock and Key. Lock and Key is a CW show. Absolutely 100%. They neutered that show and turned it into a CW show. And I saw Neil Gaiman is vehemently defending Sandman on Twitter. Like anybody that criticizes it for whatever reason, he's really, really like on this one, on Sandman. And I'm like, dude, if your product is good, you don't have to defend it this hard. It'll speak for itself. Is it something that maybe you're not necessarily comfortable with what you're selling and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Sandman because I don't know, I guess gender changes or even some like non-binary characters in it now.
Yeah.
They cast a black lady to play Death, and some people were kind of upset about that.
Which is dumb because Death has had several incarnations, some of them black, white, different orientations. She's the embodiment of a concept, is what she is.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing with all of these characters. Like, desire and despair and all those other they're just concepts. So there is no like race, nationality, like whatever involved. So oh dude, speaking of, there's a couple things we need to talk about though. That you and I have both been super excited about, and some people mentioned it in the chat.
Oh, I can't wait.
But this is Marvel is really finally taking things serious. I feel like they are using their biggest guns and putting them on the biggest titles. We now, in case anybody doesn't know, or Donny Cates and Ryan Otley are coming together to do a Hulk comic book.
Yeah.
And Donny Cates is coming out saying that this is just pure energy, angry Hulk. And Donny Cates has always done amazing things with characters. Like, look at what he did with Venom and Carnage. He made them pretty much like household names in the comic book community again. Really added some spokes to the wheel, made Venom like the king of the symbiotes, and the whole thing with Null and the Black King and Absolute Carnage. All that stuff, and I'm waiting to see what he's going to do with Hulk, because Hulk has been on such a tear lately. Immortal Hulk was fantastic, and now we're getting Donny Cates and Ryan Otley on Hulk. And Otley is the master of destruction.
Oh, he's so good.
He is the master of destruction. Like, he's perfect for something like Hulk, where there's a lot of destruction and disaster. And as you can see on this cover here for number 1, he's tearing up an entire city block. I hope they do ridiculous Hulk, where he picks up like entire cities and throws them into the ocean, or just crazy things like that. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is just like the first teaser image that they put out. But this looks like this is already perfect for having Hulk coming back like this.
Yeah, this is without a shadow of doubt. This jumped up to my most anticipated for the year. This is going to be a banger of a book, and chances are it's going to be the book. And this comes out in November, so it'll be right on time for when we do our end of the year wrap up.
He might end up just sweeping it, dude.
I mean, I'm spoilers for probably my list for the end of the year, but yeah, chances are Cates is going to sweep this year again, kind of like he did. I think he swept last year between you and I as well.
Hulk did too. Immortal Hulk was, I think, on both of our lists as being like the best comic of the year.
I think I put that down as best superhero book last year. But Al Ewing is wrapping up his run. A hell of a run that will probably go down as easily top 5, top 3, possibly Hulk runs of all time, easily. When he finishes up his run, as long as he could stick the landing, which I don't see why he wouldn't. So who else would you bring on board for a legendary run that's ending, but the guy who's just every time? Cates, we've waxed on. Let me get my shoe shine polish while I bend down and kiss Cates' feet again. Cates is what Jeff Johns was in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, where Jeff Johns, when he came out, hit hard with Teen Titans, Green Lantern, Flash, JSA, just banger after banger after banger. And that is what Cates is. He is just banger after banger. He hasn't missed yet. And I'm pretty sure Ryan Otley, a fucking amazing artist to pair him with. This is going to sell out. I
I think it was a little bit of a miscast on Spider-Man. I mean,
Yes.
it was fun and whatnot, but I think this is where he's going to flex some muscles. For anybody that's read like Invincible, like that was just pure destruction throughout every issue of that book. And he, like I said, he does it better than anybody else.
I could not think of a better artist to pair with Cates for a Hulk book. And I agree. I think he was very much miscast for Spider-Man because Spider-Man's more of a drama book. And it, it's a superhero book, but it's more about talking heads and drama and dealing with everyday life. Whereas Hulk is horror, destruction, just go pure kinetic motion. And I can't think of a better artist to pair Donny Cates with. That's Get your copies in now. If your shop can do pre-orders and they're open for it right now, I would suggest you put your order in for a #1 right now because it's going to sell out quick.
Everything Donny Cates does, give it the first 2 or 3 issues, and something crazy happens, and that becomes like a huge back issue book. Yeah. It happened with Venom because Null was introduced. I think it was issue 3 of Venom. Null was introduced. Thor, I think it was issue 2 of Thor, where I don't want to get into spoilers with Thor, but something big happened. I think it was issue 2 or issue 3. And then it's going to happen with Hulk. So right now, Donny Cates he's going to stay on Thor. So he's going to be writing Thor and Hulk, like the 2 most powerful characters in Marvel, if not comics in general. And he's ending Venom and Al Ewing. So it's like they're switching. They're trading books. Al Ewing is going to go over and start doing Venom.
Is it?
As Cates goes into Hulk. Yeah. So Venom is it's going to be a book that you're going to want to just keep up with and keep reading.
And Al Ewing, where Cates kind of went really cosmic with it in a lot of aspects, I think Ewing is really. I hope he pulls what he does on Hulk and just brings the horror aspect out of Venom because that's going to be a fun book if he does.
Yeah. That's. I think that's one of those things that they added with Venom is just kind of horror aspect of it too. And those guys have been just horror books is really just coming back around. So I really hope we get like a good Ghost Rider horror book too. Yeah.
Have you been reading Cates' Thor run? Are you caught up with that?
Not at all. Not whatsoever. I've read a handful of issues. I'm just gonna wait for like the a complete collection or hardcovers or something.
You are in for such a treat. He does. I mean, he does so much with the concept of Donald Blake and like Thor and stuff like that. Like he does a lot with that stuff, and it's brilliant. It's so fucking good. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. That's the one thing with Donny Cates is that he is. I don't want to disparage anybody else by raising him up, but he just seems to be like a legitimate fan. Like, or either he's been reading Venom and Carnage for his entire life. It feels like, and he's just like, I always wanted to add these elements to it. And I think the same thing's gonna come out of him about Hulk. But like I said, a lot of times these writers don't really feel like they're ingrained into the world of comic books. And you start getting people from outside in different media and different stuff like that, and they come in and you're like, it doesn't feel right. When's the last time Hulk has had a great run besides Immortal Hulk? It's been forever. Even Mark Waid. Mark Waid had an okay run. Like it was a really fun concept, but it really didn't kind of go anywhere. Same with the Jason Aaron run. Cool ideas. You had Mark Silvestri doing art on it for a little bit, but it just really didn't change anything. And that's what's really exciting with Donny Cates is that he makes these changes and it's fantastic.
One example of that is and I'm going to throw him for me at least is Ta-Nehisi Coates, where he's been writing Black Panther for the past 4 or 5 years, but there's been no buzz on the book. The book might as well not exist in my opinion because nobody that I know is really enjoying it or reading it. It's simply just there. There is no buzz for that Black Panther book as far as I'm aware. And I tried reading it and I was like, I don't know if he necessarily has a handle on the character. Of course, that could change because it's been 4 or 5 years that he's been on the book. And that is a book that needs new blood. It needs somebody to come in there and shake things up. Black Panther, the movie, was huge. It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
But there's really no buzz on the Black Panther book. But Ta-Nehisi Coates was a very famed and prestigious writer, coming from the news scene and coming from his memoir and stuff like that was really well received. So yeah, of course you're going to give him the book. You're going to hope that he comes in and he does well on it. But didn't do nothing for me. Did not do nothing for me at all.
Yeah, Adam in the chat. Yeah, Ram V is on Venom too. So I don't know if they're trading off and doing two Venom books or if they're working on Venom together. We'll see what happens. But like you were saying, Donny Cates, whenever he does something, his books are the ones that get like hype and spotlight and buzz going around it. And I mean, Hickman's like X-Men. Like I haven't heard a lot of buzz around since like Hoxpox, since that whole change up where things have been happening. Maybe there's too many books or something like that going on, but there hasn't been that continual buzz. But with Immortal Hulk, there was a lot of buzz. Venom from the start was always buzz. And I think we're going to get that again with Hulk and Venom switching off again. I think those are Marvel's two top books right now. Absolutely. Even I'll put them above X-Men, all the X titles. In the terms of like hype and buzz and getting the community talking and discussion and stuff like that going on.
Absolutely. And I agree with you on the situation with Hickman, where I think it was a brilliant idea for Marvel to go, okay, we're going to scrap the entire X line. We're just going to do 2 books. And we're going to make it super easy for people to follow. You just need to bounce between the 2 books, and you're good.
Yep.
And then they just blew up the entire line with like 10, 12 books. Again, they oversaturated, and it's a pain in the ass to keep up with all these different books. Despite the fact I really like what he's doing with all these different books, because basically he set it up, and all these writers have set it up where, okay, this is Krakoa. This is a society. These are the different aspects of how a real-life society, such as a mutant society, would work. This is the medication. This is why Kitty Pryde is on a boat rescuing mutants. This is the dark arts area. This is like the technology area. This is our squad that handles mutant relations. This is our hit squad and stuff like that. It works, and it's great world building. It's too fucking much. It's just way too much. If they had just went, okay, we've got our books. We're going to pare this down 5 books. Yeah. That's it. We don't need 10, 12 X-Men titles every single month. But Marvel just couldn't help themselves. And they just blew it up way too much. And I think that's part of the reason why there's not a lot of buzz going on for a lot of the X-Men stuff. It's way too fucking much. And that's the problem. They don't know when to pare off the line and when to cut back a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried reading... I've read the majority of the first 5 issues of all the current X-Men stuff that's been put out, because I was really on a binge with it. Me and Jess were going back and forth. And they're good. The vast majority of them are good. X-Force is fucking great. Hellions is fucking great. What else did I end up reading that was really good? The majority of them are very, very good books, sort of X.
I was loving Marauders. The whole thing.
Marauders is great.
Kitty Pryde, yeah.
It's a fun book. But I don't have that time. Nobody has that time other than Omar, who this is basically his job at this point, to keep up with this line of books and keep up with this many books. And now they're doing like the gala thing or something like that, where I don't get it. It does nothing for me. Yeah, it does nothing for me.
Then they announced Inferno, and it's just like it's that whole business mindset. It feels like where something's a hit, and they just keep pulling at it. And try and get as much out of it that we can, and it gets convoluted. You get kind of lost. It becomes too much. Like, what is it now? Like 12 X-Men titles, maybe even more. Like that X of Swords was like what, a 26-part crossover.
It's ridiculous.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
It's a lot, and that's why things like, I guess we're going to just keep this on the topic of Venom and Hulk for right now, but that's why something like Venom and Hulk works, because you got like just a single title that you kind of have to read, and you go through it and you just go, this is really great. I can't wait for the next issue, but I got to wait a month, and that's fine. And as El Denver mentioned, Venom has had 2 huge spin-off crossover events, and Kate stuck the landing on both of them.
Absolutely.
Which is unheard of these days. Like, X of Swords, heard nothing. Like I don't know how good it was. I tried to read through it, but I was like 26 parts. Like, I'm good. I'm not, and especially for something like that, because with us, as collected edition collectors, you kind of wait, and that's kind of the benefit of it. Is that you get to wait, and you get to kind of pick and choose based on feedback and hype and community discussions. and there was really nothing about that with Exosword. So I was picking up the issues when they were first coming out. I was like, this is too much. If I skip a week, I'm back like 3 issues, and I'm back a whole storyline, and there's a lot of filler and things like that. But with Absolute Carnage, it was a hit. All the spinoffs on Absolute Carnage were slam dunks. Also, like the Miles Morales one stands out as one of my favorite ones from that as well. Yeah. Same with Hulk. Same with Black King Black. All that stuff, just hype, because they're actually doing things, and that's what was exciting about the original Hickman X-Men, is that there was changes made. It's not just being stuck in the same kind of momentum. There was changes. There was something to look forward to. You didn't know what was going to happen next. That was with Venom. That was with Hulk. That was with Thor. I know some of the things that happened with Thor. And it's just like, wow, that is interesting. And that makes me want to read it and see what they're going to do next.
Yeah. No, you nailed it. I think. And the thing is with Absolute Carnage and King in Black is, yes, there were tie-ins. And we hear this all the time. Oh, no, you got to read the tie-ins to understand the full story. And then you jump from one book to the next, and you're like, wait, what just fucking happened between this last book and this book? You told me I didn't have to read the tie-ins, but now I feel completely lost. You can read King in Black, and you can read Absolute Carnage with just the main Venom book and the main title of the event. And you're golden. You're good. It doesn't need anything else. I do recommend, especially for Absolute Carnage, that you do pick up a few of those side stories, because a lot of the few side stories in those books are really good. They're very, very well done.
And things with King in Black, they were doing things where it's like, are they bringing back Captain Marvel? You know, like they had that whole kind of thing going on, and and I don't want to get into spoilers, but they brought back another character that we haven't seen in a while, who's attached to the Venom mythos as well. So. That's what it takes really for me to get excited about comics, is do something that's a change and keep the momentum going and keep it as just kind of on a straight path as possible, where I don't have to jump off and read this book. I don't have to jump off and read that book and buy books I don't want to collect. I don't want to read. And I just have random onesie twosies of these issues.
Dude, the Thunderbolts book that was a tie-in for King in Black, fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Great book. Nobody was reading it. Fucking great book. It's going in my top 5 for the year, easily. I love that book.
Ant-Man 40. I recall last year when Ewing said issue 50 would be the last of Immortal Hulk, and the majority of people said that was not true. Well, we'll see. Because I don't know if I think it's the end of the Immortal Hulk persona, I think. I don't know what's going to happen with just Hulk when Donny Cates take over just Hulk, because these images looks like it's just regular Hulk, where it's not this kind of body horror that Immortal Hulk was going through for a while, and dealing with elements like the one above all, the one below all, things like that too. Omniverse says Disney milks everything like a Star Wars. I think there's a difference between milking something and then milking something and strip mining it. I think Marvel with X-Men strip mining it, where they're just taking it until it dies. Where I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan, but everything that Disney's done recently with Star Wars has been fantastic since The Mandalorian. You got The Mandalorian, you got The Bad Batch, you got all these other Obi-Wan. It's actually stuff that people seem to be really interested in. The movies, but I think that might have been before there was a big Disney presence in it. But they're really been involved with it these days.
Well, have you seen J.J. Abrams just he finally came out years later? Yeah, it might have been a good idea for us to have a plan before we started making 3 Star Wars.
Really? So they were just throwing stuff around to see what sticks afterwards?
Yeah, they were just winging it.
That's interesting. Yeah. Oh. That's not how you treat one of the world's largest franchises.
No.
That's not how you do it.
Absolutely not.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
But everybody, I recommend jumping on Hulk immediately and jumping on that new Venom when that comes out too. So it comes out in November. I think Venom ends in September. I'd say about September, I think is probably when stores can start taking pre-orders and start adding that to your pull list and things like that. It's usually about 2-3 months before. But I'm jumping on it. I'm jumping on it. I'm getting the singles for that for sure.
You know what? I've been out of the singles game for a long time, but that's going to be one that I'm going to want to get because I know I'm going to want to frame some of those pages, or I'm going to want to do some of those pages.
Like I said, those early issues of Venom, like that Null book is like, it's like a $100-$200 back issue.
Mm-hmm.
Those early Thors that he did are really expensive, and I think the same thing is going to happen with this Hulk book. So it's either you jump on at the beginning, or you end up paying that you got to pay that extra tax for missing out on the first time.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. Plus, Case is just a cool dude. He seems like a genuinely really sweet guy.
I've hung out with him before. He's done multiple signings at Torpedo. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's cool.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you something as we go through this, because I wanted to get your opinion on this, because we tend to be, I think out of the group, we tend to be the most that we really have a lot of nostalgia for a lot of the 90s stuff and a lot of things like that. Are we killing nostalgia with our over obsession with it? And I say this because I walked downstairs this morning and I saw just a video. My stepfather's fucking obsessed with the news. I think it's just the age thing. Because it's like once you hit 70, you start becoming, that's all you do all day. You watch the fucking news all day. And I asked this because there was this news story about people waiting hours in line, people your age and my age, and storming inside of Targets to get Pokemon cards. Like just the retro cards that have been like reprinted now and stuff like that. Is it becoming a thing where we're becoming so obsessed with our nostalgia that we are actually hurting it in a way?
I can see what you're saying. Because Target has said that they're not carrying in-store Pokemon cards in store anymore because of all the fights and the breakouts and
ridiculous
and the mad dashes for it. So in that kind of respect, I can see how we're ruining. I don't think we're ruining the nostalgia. I think nostalgia is there for a reason. The nostalgia is there to kind of reflect on and kind of reminisce about. But I think it's just assholes.
Yeah,
who are ruining it for people like us who just want to be like, oh yeah, I remember a Pokemon card. I'll go buy another pack because now my kids are into it, or things like that. But I think it's assholes, and I don't have a problem with people scalping or people buying things to resell it. That's fine. I mean, it's part of the game. I do it myself. I buy things and then I see it going for expensive. I go, I'm gonna sell it because why not? But I think it's when you have to fight people and you have to get aggressive and aggro and like fake alpha over it, then that's just that mentality, and it's just that cycle of assholes who are just ruining it for everybody else who wants to enjoy it. They're not there to enjoy it. They're there to try and make money off of it. So
no, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think it's absolutely. I think it's fucking ridiculous that you've got grown men that are acting like children, throwing things and getting into fights at stores to get a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of get into dad mode, but is that a good example for your kids that you need to punch and fight and push and assault people over something, over material possessions and something completely meaningless?
Yeah.
So,
but it's not even just Pokemon cards right now. Apparently, baseball cards, basketball cards, all these trading cards have just blown up for whatever reason in the past year. Maybe it's because of the pandemic and nobody has anything to do, and over the past year, but prices have been skyrocketing. People just acting like idiots.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that there's been like some very few crazy sales of like baseball cards or sports cards, the rookie card for Michael Jordan is like $1 million card right now if you have like a PSA 10 or something like that. So when stuff like that happens and that gets on the news and that gets back filtered into all the regular kind of people, and people start going, oh man, baseball cards again. Baseball cards are expensive and they're worth money. I'm gonna go out and start buying them. Same thing with Pokemon cards. That all started, from my memory, when it was some rapper. I don't know these rappers anymore. But some
Logic.
rapper, was it? Okay, I don't know who that is.
I think so.
where he bought a Charizard card that was like $120,000 or something crazy like that. And then at that moment, that to me, that's when I started noticing the Pokemon craze coming back. And people your age and people my age who were into Pokemon kind of getting back into it because now they're getting the nostalgia for Pokemon is coming back. And then all the back issues, but all the original first run Pokemon cards are just skyrocketing and blowing up, and they're getting graded and all that kind of crazy stuff is happening. And cards in general, like I told you guys, I had some Marvel trading card unopened boxes that I bought a couple years ago for like dirt cheap. And then they started going for like $300-400 on eBay, and I was like, "Well, I'll sell mine for $300-400 on eBay. Sure, I'm not gonna keep these things around if I can get a couple $100. I haven't turned them into back issues." And that's just been cycling happen. I think it's because of I think a large part of it was because of the pandemic, where people people who weren't financially affected by the pandemic. A lot of people, unfortunately, were, but there's a lot of people, like ourselves, where we still had jobs and we were still working on a regular basis, and we couldn't go anywhere. So we weren't really spending money on trips or going to conventions. So there was that kind of extra cash not going out. A lot of people were working from home. So there's, extra cash in that where you don't have to spend gas money or worry about having a car. And then stimulus checks were hitting, people needed it. And there's some people who, may not have actually needed it, but I'll take the $5,000 or whatever they were giving out, and that just kind of really pushed it more. Same with comic books. Comic books have been exploding. Comic books back issue market is ridiculous and scary, and a lot of things are getting priced out. So, and there's an influx to that too, where people were coming from the card market, going back into comic books again, like it was like they did in the early '90s. People made money off of those junk bonds that were happening with GameStop and AMC and things like that. So there was a lot of extra kind of cash flow happening out there. So that's really what was sparking it. But us killing our nostalgia, no, the nostalgia is there. This is also supposed to be kind of fun and reminiscent and things like that. But it's just those people who've taken advantage of it.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to. I like that you touched on that for a second. I think everybody's trying to get their nut, so to speak, where everybody's hoping that they'll be the next big YouTuber and they'll hit the jackpot with this Pokemon card thing, or they'll be able to get rare cards and just like sell them and make prop. It was kind of the GameStop situation where everybody was trying to be that person. It's like, oh man, I bought in early and I sold for a huge exorbitant amount, which I'm fucking killing myself because I told Jess last year, hey, jokingly, I should buy GameStop stock. It's only going for like $1 right now. And Jess was like, oh, that's a horrible idea. I said, you're right. And now I'm like, God damn it. I should have bought GameStop stock.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's trying to just struggle and make it through. And this, especially nowadays, man, with everything that's going on in the world and the pandemic is finally lifting and stuff like that. So it was a tough year for everybody. So I think nostalgia hit a lot of people, and it was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna buy a pack of Pokemon cards just because I got nothing else going on right now.
Yeah, it's like life sucks right now. Let me do something that I remember was fun. Like Bad for His Times right here. Nostalgia is great when it comes down to those '90s tees, right? Me and him have been like really buying these T-shirts from all these like Instagram accounts that are making like these really awesome retro '90s tees, and that's where that's why I wanted to highlight that because that's where it should be. Is oh yeah, that's fun. I remember that. I'll buy a T-shirt of that, or I'll buy a pack of cards for fun, or I'll buy a comic, or I'll go buy an old movie, or enjoy it in that regard. Sure, but.
Have you been back to the movie theaters yet? Or are you still waiting on that?
There's nothing out I want to see. Maybe Quiet Place 2.
It's worth it. It's good.
Yeah. So maybe that. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been worried about going or anything like that, but it's just there's nothing out right now. But Black Widow, I'm there. Fast 9, I'm there.
Oh, so you're not doing the in-home thing for Black Widow? You're not just going to watch it at home?
No, okay. No. I'm gonna go to the theater for that. I'm not gonna spend $30 to watch it at home if I can watch it in the theaters. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because it's same with like Godzilla versus King Kong. Those are the kind of movies I think were made to be seen on the big screen. Unfortunately, that movie was kind of outside of the I'm going to see Godzilla and Hulk or Godzilla and King Kong fight. The rest of that movie was ridiculous and stupid. So I'm kind of glad I didn't see it in theaters and spend money for it because honestly, a lot of those movies that HBO released on HBO Max were garbage. Like they were like, I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters, and that includes Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah,
that includes Mortal Kombat. Where again, I wanted to watch Mortal Kombat just for fatalities and that kind of stuff, and I was fine with seeing that, but the story was garbage.
Did you like it?
But Mortal Kombat,
Mm-hmm.
not for the storyline and not for the character development or anything like that, but for the nostalgia of like get over here and fatality and the fatality. There were some really cool fatalities that you got to see on there, but outside of that, it was like this doesn't make sense. But again, it's Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to these movies going like, oh man, this is going to be like the next Matrix, or this is Citizen Kane, or this is going to be like a Woody Allen film, or Spike Lee joint, or anything like that. But I'm just glad I didn't go to the theaters to see it and waste my time and money to do it that way.
No, I was 50-50 on that movie. I have my issues with it. I'm not going to get into here because I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on it. But they could have easily replaced Cole Young with a cardboard cutout of anybody else, and it would not have changed that movie at all. That was the worst character they could. Why was it not Johnny Cage?
He wasn't even a character in the game, from my understanding.
No, Cole Young is not a character in the game.
Yeah.
They had the perfect fill-in if they wanted a fish out of water story with Johnny Cage, and they made the excuse of like, well, Kano is the funny character in the movie, and I'm like, Kano was the best thing for me about that movie. You could tell that actor had a fucking blast with that role, and that was the best thing about it.
Yeah. But yeah, he was worthless, and then there was that part where he's like punching his family out of the ice, and then he stops to have a conversation with somebody, and I'm like, weren't you just trying to save these people that were frozen in ice, and you stopped to like have a conversation? Like it was little things like that, but. Again, I was there to see people get cut in half and hearts pulled out and things like that. That's what I was there for, Universe, is Demon Slayer an anime that's awkward to watch with your mid-teens kids? Like, is it a titty show or more of a tame show? There is no titties. There is no titties.
How old? Because I mean, it's about a guy hunting. It's about a teenager hunting down demons. So.
It's a little violent
stuff. Yeah.
There's no stuff. There's nothing sexually worrisome at all.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't think it's any more violent than say I think My Hero
Dragon Ball Z or anything like that.
Yeah. I think you should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan isn't sexual at all, but there's a lot of naked people, but they don't have any no sexual organ body parts or anything like that. So but no, if you're okay with kids watching Dragon Ball Z or My Hero Academia, then you'll be fine with Demon Slayer.
But with all things like that, it's all up to your kids and their tolerance level. I know for like my stepdaughter, we let her watch certain R-rated things as long as we're there with her, and she's 10. But she's far more mature for her age than anything else. So she understands, okay, this is a movie, it's nothing like real life or anything like that. Like we saw with her, I think it was like a month ago, the first Saw film. And because she loves horror. She's into horror. She's in that phase where she wants to watch all the classic horror films like The Shining and stuff like that. That's just her bag right now. So we're like, all right, well, let's watch the Saw 1. And she really loved it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's your parental idea. You know what your kid can handle and can't handle. But Ivan says PSA, which is the graders for cards, they had to shut down. They literally came out and said, "Stop sending us stuff. We can't." It's like a 1-year turnaround for PSA cards.
That's ridiculous.
And CGC, the grader for comic books. Has recently had to hire 500 new people to deal with the influx.
Wow.
And again, that's because you get one or two books that have been blowing up, and it's that rising tide lifts all ships kind of thing. So books start blowing up, and everybody starts sending in TGC books. I should have sent in a bunch of stuff. I just procrastinated with work and busy life stuff and things like that. But
yeah, we're all there.
Universe is my son described Attack on Titans as anime weird, as in on a scale from 1 to anime on weird, something could be. Attack on Titans weird. It's great. It's so good though. I think it's over, and I think some people were not happy with the ending. I'm not sure. I'm not caught up on it.
I don't know. I think it might be ending. It's got to be. I think it's either close to ending or it's over. I'm not sure yet. I dropped off after about season 2. I need to jump back.
Off my shelves, with plans to release Kirby Absolute Fourth World Volume 2, do you know there are plans for a reprint of 1? Nothing that's been announced, and DC isn't the most reliant for reprints at the moment. So there's really no guessing. That thing could never come back. Who knows?
Dude, with the way things are at DC and AT&T, it's a miracle they're putting anything out at this point.
Well, we'll see what happens now because they're owned by Discovery now.
That's right.
We'll see what there's going to be changes. It happens whenever there's if you've ever had a job and you get a new manager, you get a new executive, they come in and they want to make a bunch of changes. Yeah. So we'll see where that comes with Discovery. We'll see what happens. It's interesting that Discovery of all people pulled DC and Warner Brothers out of that deal.
More Batman books, man. More Batman books.
Oh, wait. So apparently there was a second print announced.
Cool. That's awesome. Man, that HBO Max, that's going to be a hell of a subscription. Now we're getting all the Discovery content on HBO Max, too. Jesus.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, now you can let your kids watch HBO Max. It's, hey, here's, all the Planet Earth stuff you could watch and things like that. We'll see. Man, I'm just waiting for all these shows to start coming back. I like Ted Lasso, morning show on Apple TV.
Yep.
I forgot the name of it, but that Wu-Tang show that was on Hulu, I was really involved with that. I really was looking forward to season 2 of that to come out.
Yeah.
So
Apple TV's coming into its own right now. Ted Lasso, Servant is actually really good. If you get a chance to watch that, it's
Servant.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV. It's M. Night Shyamalan. It's his show, which he's hit and miss, but this is actually a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. My fiance and I, we binged the first 2 seasons in the matter of a week. We really dug it.
Ms. Awesome says, check the forum. Someone said Absolute Fourth World is being restocked. All right.
A lot of restocks. Well, I mean, maybe they're starting to get the ship in line. Maybe they're starting to kind of get everything back together and fix what's up.
Discovery Channel is boring.
No, dude. Discovery
I
Channel,
like that stuff.
When I was in college, I would get high and watch Discovery Channel.
Yeah, dude, Discovery Channel and the History Channel. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you don't want to go around admitting to your friends. Like, hey, man, I was at home watching a bunch of these Vietnam things on the History Channel, but it's cool, And History Channel even had dude, I used to binge Pawn Stars like a maniac. Dang it, I forgot the name of that one show, but it was a bunch of guys that would go out and just American Pickers, I think it was called. Stuff like that. So,
didn't your boss was on Pawn Stars, right?
Yeah. John was on there. Torpedo was on Pawn Stars a few times. They had him on there with Kevin Eastman, and Torpedo is Pawn Stars like go to now for like comic book stuff, and they want to do like a comic book centric episode or segment.
How much of that is bullshit? Like the whole Pawn Stars thing?
Only about 100%.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, no, it's all bullshit. Like if anybody sees the Ninja Turtle episode where somebody came in with the Ninja Turtles #1, that was Torpedo's Ninja Turtles #1 that they wanted to use, so they did the segment on it, and we had Kevin Eastman in town. It's all staged. And it's always been that way. But that's if you're there just to kind of watch the back and forth negotiation and prices, that's not what the show's there for. That's just an added element because it's a pawn show. It really should be there that, to see the historical items, to get some historical back, history on these items. That's the fun part of it,
Right.
At least for me, I don't care how much some painting is going for. I could care less, but tell me about the history of the artist and what was going on with it when they were painting it. And that's what I'm there for. Those Storage Wars. Yeah. The Storage Wars stuff's all garbage too. And it's unfortunate that people believe that that's really what happens on these storage bids, and everybody started going to these storage auctions.
Yeah, they oversaturated it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they all got burnt because I don't know if you've ever been to a storage unit before, but it's the same shit you and I would have. It's just like, it's a mattress. Somebody left their mattress here. Great. What am I going to do with a dirty mattress? All right, just taking a trip to the dump.
And a lot of times they plant stuff in those storage units.
Oh yeah.
Just so they have something to pull from. Because if not, it's going to be 300 episodes of, well, shit. Here's a bicycle again.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, what did we find? Oh, these people left all their family photos behind. That's sad. It's they got to juice it up a little bit, and that's what all that stuff is. It's just does that happen? Sure, but 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000. Anyways, let's start winding this down. It's almost cool. We're almost out of time. So, big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks everybody for showing up today. Also, big shout out to the one and only InStockTrades.com. Everybody check them out. Up to 50% off on all new releases of trade paperbacks, omnis, hardcovers, all your collected edition needs. Hit up InStockTrades.com. So for the best packaging, a $50 gift card that here on OmniBros Live we get out on the last Monday of every month. So it hits them up. Free shipping on orders over $50 in the United States as well. The one and only In Stock Trades, our go-to spot for all of our collected edition needs. All right. So with that said, where can people find you at, Lou?
Comics Guide 101 on Twitter, and my old archive of videos is Comics Guide 101 on YouTube.
All right, and guys, you can find me, Gablo's 90s Comics, on Instagram. And real quick, this is a good question. Gabe Blue, do you think that Black Widow will be the first blockbuster this year to make $1 billion globally because of their release timing and the starvation of Marvel theatrical films? No. The world is not open. The world's not open enough. I think
it's going to be Fast and Furious. No, it's going to be Fast and Furious.
You think it's going to be Fast and the Furious?
I think it's going to be Fast 9.
Okay,
dude, I'm telling you,
I see that. I'm just not sure.
I've been to the movie theater twice now, over the past month, and my theaters are pretty full. They're full with people coming back.
Really,
it's going to be fast.
But I don't know about the rest of the world, though. That's the thing. The rest of I don't know how the rest of the world looks. Because I mean, I don't know how. Because another big market is China, and I haven't really checked on how China's doing the pandemic. Last thing I heard, they were going back into another lockdown, maybe for like the 5th time or something crazy like that. So I don't know about $1 billion, but I think it's gonna be I agree that Fast 9 will be the first blockbuster, but I don't know about what's going to cross that $1 billion mark. Maybe Doctor Strange. Is Doctor Strange out in the fall? I think whatever happens in the fall might be the first blockbuster, like $1 billion hit again.
No, Eternals is the one that's coming out this fall. No, it's going to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man comes out this fall.
Is Spider-Man first?
Spider-Man.
I don't even know what the release schedule looks like.
Eternals comes out first, I believe, and then Spider-Man. But I think
Eternals is August.
Yeah. Do people? Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
I am there. I love the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah.
Saga.
Absolutely.
All of them. The second one's the only one that's not that great. But everything after that, even Tokyo Drift, they're all ridiculous and fantastic. It's almost like B films. And they just keep escalating because now they're going into space. And I'm telling you, the only way you escalate from going into space is going to the hood. So I think Fast 10 is them going to go back to their roots of hoods and street racing and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, Universal has said they haven't ruled out crossing over Jurassic Park with Fast and Furious.
Please, I want to see Vin Diesel ride on the back of a Brontosaurus Flintstone style in some souped up car.
The Fast and Jurassic. Think about it right
Oh
now.
my
Man.
God.
Fast and Jurassic.
God, please let that happen. And put some ninjas in there. I want to see some ninjas in Fast and Furious.
It's gonna happen. Give it time.
Oh my God.
Space is. I mean, in the horror movie tradition, what is it? They got to go back to the hood. They're going to space now.
Yeah.
So they're crossing that off.
Yeah. If you're following the rules of Leprechaun, next is the hood.
Oh my God, man. All right, man. Let's wrap this up.
We're out of here, guys. Take care. Thanks again, everybody, for showing up. We'll see you guys tomorrow for hauls and reads. And you guys already kind of got a little tidbit of what my hauls are this week. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks again.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Later.